My fiancée asked for a break to revisit her cheating ex. I sold my house, moved across the country, and cut all contact. 8 months later, her life's in shambles. So, here I am, a 32-year-old guy, just trying to navigate life like everyone else. Up until recently, things were pretty smooth and going according to plan. The main person in this story, aside from yours truly, is my now ex-fiancée, Sarah. She's 30, and we had been together for 4 years, with the last year as an engaged couple. We were living in this house I bought before we even got engaged, all under my name because it was a decision based on my savings and some family money way before Sarah was really in the picture. She moved in about 2 years into the relationship. There's also Sarah's ex-boyfriend, James. He was in her life before me, and according to Sarah, their thing ended because he couldn't keep it together and was cheating on her. Her family, including her parents and younger sister Clara, got involved or became aware as things started to unravel on our end. When Sarah and I started dating, it felt like we had a solid thing going. We met through a friend, dated for a year, then moved in together, and 2 more years later, I popped the question. We seemed to click over shared interests, and I thought we respected each other. Sarah knew I was okay financially. The house, for example, was mine thanks to some saved up cash and an inheritance from my grandparents. It's a cozy 3-bedroom in the suburbs, perfect for us and the future we were planning, like getting married and maybe starting a family someday. Sarah chipped in for the bills and groceries but didn't have any claim on the house, which we both agreed on from the start. James was supposed to be in the rearview mirror. I knew about him since she was pretty open about their 2-year relationship that went south when she found out he was cheating. She mentioned the hurt and betrayal a lot, so I thought she was over it, especially since we were engaged and all. But, about 6 months before the big blow-up, things started to change. Sarah's behavior shifted slightly. James' name started coming up more often, which was weird because he used to be just a footnote in her stories. She'd mentioned seeing some post of his on social media or hearing about him from a friend of a friend. At first, I didn't think much of it, people from the past sometimes pop up randomly. But then she started bringing him up more frequently and began reminiscing about the past, almost like she was daydreaming about what could have been. I noticed she was spending more time on her phone, often looking lost in thought. When I asked if everything was okay, she'd brush it off as work stress or being tired. Then, things took a turn for the worse when she told me James had reached out and apologized for being such a jerk back then. She said she was curious and wanted closure. I remember advising her that closure often comes from within, not from the person who hurt you, but I didn't stop her from talking to him. I figured trust in a relationship meant not controlling who she could or couldn't talk to, although I did share my unease. Their chats didn't stop there, though. Soon, she was texting him late into the night and stepping out to take his calls. When I confronted her, she admitted they were talking more regularly. She painted him as a changed man, really sorry for the past, and started reminiscing about their old times like they were comedic adventures or something. It felt like she was re-evaluating that past with rose-colored glasses. The real red flag was when she started comparing our relationship to hers with James. She'd say our life was comfortable and stable, but then question if that was enough for her long term. Stability and comfort were things we both said we wanted, so hearing her doubt them was unsettling. I tried talking it out, asking what had changed and what she felt was missing. Her answers were all over the place. 1 minute she'd say she loved me, and the next, she'd express doubt about her feelings and future happiness, with James and those what-if scenarios hanging over us. The week before she asked for a break, she went for coffee with James. She told me about it, saying it was just to finally get that closure. I didn't fight it but told her I wasn't thrilled about it, especially given her recent behavior. She went anyway, and when she came back, she was distant and vague, only saying it was an interesting conversation. That pretty much summed up where things were heading. So, things got pretty intense at home after we found out James had changed a lot. It was a bit awkward for a few days, but things really shifted on a Saturday morning. I had this plan for us to hang out and maybe go hiking to reconnect, but before we even started, everything changed. We were in the same room where we used to chat about wedding plans and our future together. She started off by telling me how much she appreciated me and the life we'd built. Then, she opened up about being confused about her feelings. She brought up James again, explaining that seeing him had stirred up old feelings and made her wonder if leaving him had been a mistake. She needed to figure out if there was still something there now that he seemed like a different person. Then came the bombshell, she wanted to take a break. Like, a few weeks or maybe a month or 2 to figure it out with James. She mentioned staying with her sister Clara or finding somewhere else temporarily. Her plan was to date James to see if her feelings were real or just nostalgia. She made it clear she wasn't trying to end things with me for good. She just needed space to sort out her heart before we got married. She even said this whole break could make her a better partner or confirm that James wasn't right for her, strengthening us in the long run. She asked me to be patient and understanding. I let her talk without interrupting, but inside, I realized she was basically asking to put our engagement on hold to see if things would work out with an ex who had cheated on her before. To me, that was a huge deal breaker. While she framed it as a temporary pause, I saw it as breaking the promise we had made to each other. When she finished, I didn't argue or beg. I asked some questions to make sure I understood, especially about her wanting to have a real relationship with James during this break. She confirmed it was the only way she'd know for sure. I stayed calm and told her that if she needed to explore things with someone else, then our relationship was effectively over. I wasn't going to stick around as a backup while she figured things out with James. I made it clear that her request showed a lack of respect for me and the promises we were planning to make. I told her our engagement was over right then and there. She seemed surprised, maybe expecting me to try to negotiate or get emotional. She tried to tell me I misunderstood, it was about her confusion, not a lack of love for me. But I made it clear that wanting to explore a relationship with someone else meant ours was done. She tried to say maybe we didn't need a break after all or we could talk it out more, but the damage was done. I told her the trust and commitment I thought we had were broken by her suggestion. Since she needed space for James, I said she should move her stuff out and maybe stay with her sister like she planned. That Saturday afternoon, after she left to maybe think things over or go to her sister's, I got to work. My decision wasn't made out of anger, just clarity. Our relationship was over, so I needed to dismantle everything we'd built together. I called a locksmith and changed all the locks that day. Since the house was mine, she didn't have any legal claim to it. Over the weekend, I started clearing out some of her things from the common areas, clothes, toiletries, some decor, and boxed them up in the garage so she could pick them up later. I also began staging the house to get ready to sell. I contacted a real estate agent Monday morning, explained I was single, and needed to sell quickly due to a new job opportunity, kind of true since I started looking for jobs out of state immediately. The agent was quick and listed the house within days, as the market was good for sellers. At the same time, I began hunting for new jobs in a different state, something I had been thinking about for a while anyway, wanting new challenges. This situation just pushed me to act on it. So, here's what went down. I decided to shake things up and give my life a reboot. I updated my resume, hit up some contacts, and started applying for jobs in a city way over on the other side of the country. It's got a booming industry and is a total change of scenery, which seemed perfect for me. Meanwhile, I also took a deep dive into our shared cloud storage. It was packed with memories, photos, documents, and all that. So, I downloaded what was mine, removed her access, and deleted the shared stuff. It felt like cutting the digital cord. When Sarah reached out demanding to know why I changed the locks, I shot her a text saying we were done. I was selling the house and told her to coordinate with my realtor or a friend to pick up her stuff. I kept it strictly business and basically stopped engaging with her. She was, predictably, super upset, calling me impulsive and heartless. But I didn't get into it. My mind was made up. The house sold fast. Within 2 weeks, we got a cash offer slightly under asking but with no issues, so I grabbed it. While all this was happening, Sarah kept trying to reach me through calls, texts, and emails. When things got too heated or emotional, I just blocked her everywhere. I let my realtor deal with the details of her picking up her belongings, which she eventually did with her sister Clara's help. I wasn't there for that part. About 6 weeks after Sarah asked for a break, the house sale wrapped up. I landed a sweet new job across the country, complete with a relocation package that sped things along. I sold some furniture, stored the essentials, and packed up my car. The move was quick. I settled into a temporary apartment in the new city, started my job, and was all about exploring and catching up with old college friends nearby. I was determined to leave the past behind, taking with me only the lessons I learned about setting boundaries and knowing when to call it quits. Fast forward about 8 months, and I'm pretty settled. The new job is challenging but rewarding, and I've found a more permanent place to live. I wouldn't say I'm jumping for joy over the whole ordeal, but I'm stable and moving forward. Now, the reason I'm sharing all this is because of the updates I've been getting about Sarah. Her sister Clara and some mutual acquaintances filled me in. Apparently, Sarah's fling with James was a total bust. He wasn't the changed man he claimed to be and quickly reverted to his old ways. He ended things with Sarah pretty abruptly after she took a break to be with him, leaving her in a tight spot. She lost the stable life we had, and things with her sister got tense. Her parents weren't thrilled either, and things really went south when she lost her job due to all the personal drama. So now, Sarah's in a tough spot, without a stable place to live, and even Clara had to ask her to find somewhere else to stay. Clara reached out to me to apologize for Sarah's behavior and to express that her family didn't support her choices. They were pretty disappointed in how things unfolded. Lately, Sarah's been trying to get in touch with me through new ways, but I haven't responded. So, here's the deal. My ex has been trying all sorts of ways to get in touch, like hitting me up on social media or calling from random numbers. Before I block her, the messages that sneak through are always apologies, begging for a second chance, or asking for help, sometimes for money, other times just wanting to chat. She goes on about her tough situation, how sorry she is, and how she finally gets that she messed up. But, just to be clear, I'm not debating whether to take her back or help her out. That ship has not only sailed, it sank. I made my choice and I'm sticking to it. Honestly, I'm just jotting this down on Reddit to vent and lay things out, not looking for advice on how to deal with her since I'm all about that no contact life. It's been about 3 weeks since my first post, and I've gone through lots of comments and DMs. Some of you have shared similar stories or just backed me up, so thanks for that. A few common questions popped up, so here we go. 1. About the house, it's all mine. I bought it way before we even got engaged, using my own savings and some inheritance money. Sarah's never been on any of the documents for it. She might have pitched in for some bills and groceries, but that doesn't mean she had any claim to the place. When she decided her new guy was more interesting and left, her right to stay in my house ended too. I packed up her stuff and gave her a fair shot to pick it all up, which she did with her sister. It was all legal, no shady eviction business here. Changed the locks after selling the place, keeping my stuff safe and sound. 2. Why I moved fast. Sarah asking for a break wasn't out of the blue. It came after weeks of her drifting away, cozying back up with James, and having doubts about us. Her break was really an excuse to date James, no confusion about that. I wasn't down to be second choice or backup plan, or as you guys say, a doormat. 3. Sarah's family, Clara, Sarah's sister, was the first to get the full story. As soon as Sarah moved in with her after our talk, Clara grilled her, and the truth spilled out. Clara, who knows James's sketchy past, was like, "What were you thinking?" Sarah's parents sided with me because, in their eyes, she was tossing aside a good future with me for a guy known for being untrustworthy. They weren't mad about the breakup and sale of the house, but about her choices leading up to it. 4. Quick actions. I'm a planner. Once a decision is made, I don't mess around. I'd already been thinking about my career, and Sarah's situation just pushed me to act faster. The housing market was hot, so I priced the house to sell quickly, aiming for a clean break instead of squeezing out every dollar. I wasn't acting out of panic. Sarah kept trying to contact me, but her attempts have slowed down after a blunt message I sent through a mutual friend. I made it clear there's zero chance of us getting back together or even discussing anything, and any more attempts would be considered harassment. I don't wish her any harm, but her life is her own to handle now. So far, I've stayed true to the no contact rule, even changing my phone number and tightening up my online privacy. Clara, without my asking, updated me that James dumped her and is telling everyone Sarah was too. So, things got pretty intense for Sarah. Clara mentioned that Sarah was stuck in the past, and it really took a toll on her. Sarah's job situation didn't get any better, partly because of what went down with her last job. There were whispers about her losing that job due to some unprofessional behavior, which might have been fueled by her personal issues. Her head just wasn't in the right place when she was applying for new gigs or during interviews. The biggest news from Clara was that Sarah tried bunking with her parents for a bit, but that didn't work out. Sarah's parents let her crash with them, but they were clear, she had to own up to her mistakes, get some help with her decision making, and start picking up the pieces on her own instead of looking for a quick fix or pointing fingers. Sarah didn't take this too well. Things got tense, and she ended up leaving after a few weeks. When Clara last caught up with me, she didn't really know where Sarah was, just that she had found a temporary spot at a college friend's place and was still having a rough time. Clara was upset about the whole situation and felt stuck in the middle. She and her parents hoped Sarah would face the consequences and learn from everything. Clara reassured me that there were no hard feelings towards me and wished me well. I appreciated the info but didn't ask for more updates because I wanted to move on. Fast forward 6 months, and it's about 7 months since I first posted about all this. It's been enough time for things to develop, or not in Sarah's case, and my life has become pretty stable. Work's going great, I'm taking on more projects, and I've made some new friends while exploring my new city. It's starting to feel like home. Last year's events seem more and more like a distant memory, and I'm not hung up on Sarah or our past relationship. I'm choosing to stay single right now, focusing on work and hobbies. Claire has stopped sending updates about Sarah, and I'm glad. I haven't had any contact from Sarah or her family for a while. But about 2 months ago, I heard something indirectly through a former coworker who had my new number for professional reasons. He reached out with a work question and cautiously mentioned that Sarah had left the state. Apparently, she ran out of friends to crash with, and since her family stood firm, she moved away, maybe to live with a distant relative or to start fresh somewhere no one knew her. He didn't have exact details, just that she wasn't around the old city anymore. It didn't really stir up any feelings for me. It seemed like a logical move for her, given the situation. Sarah hasn't tried to contact me, or at least none of her attempts have gotten through, thanks to my new number and blocking any unknown accounts or numbers. My life's been moving forward just as I planned. Selling the house, moving, and starting a new job were all part of my strategy to start over, and it's going well. This is probably the last time I'll update on this, since there's not much more to say. My original goal was to document what happened, and I've done that. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more crazy real-life stories happening around you.